Let's talk about credit cards. Most of us have one, but are we really in control of it? In just the next few minutes, we're going to break down 10 essential tips that will totally change how you see that piece of plastic in your wallet.
So let's get right into it. A credit card. Is it this amazing tool that can build your financial future? Or is it a dangerous trap just waiting to snap shut? While the answer, as you've probably guessed, comes down entirely to how you use it.
You've really got two paths you can go down. On one hand, you use it right and it helps you build credit, giving you real financial freedom. But on the other, you can get sucked into a debt cycle that is incredibly difficult to escape from. So yeah, the stakes are pretty high.
Okay, so how do you stay on that good path? It all starts with the foundation. These are the two golden rules, and I mean it. These are non-negotiable. If you get these right, you're going to save yourself a world of headaches.
Rule number 1. This one is the big one.
Pay off your balance in full every single month. This isn't just a nice idea, it's the secret key. When you do this, you pay 0 interest. Think about that. You're basically getting a free loan for a few weeks every single month. You're using the bank's money and it's not costing you a penny.
And that brings us to the second golden rule, which is just as critical.
Always pay on time. Look, even if you can't pay the whole balance one month, you absolutely have to make at least that minimum payment before the due date. A single late payment can hit you with a nasty fee, and even worse, it puts a dent in your credit score. Punctuality is everything here.
All right. Once you've got those golden rules locked down, it's time to get a little smarter and really know your numbers. Understanding just a few key figures turns you from someone who just has a card into someone who manages their credit. It gives you all the control.
Okay, here's a big one a lot of people miss. It's called your credit utilization. It's just a fancy way of saying how much credit you're using compared to your total limit. And here's a great rule of thumb. Try to keep your balance below 30% of your limit. It shows lenders you're not maxing out your cards, that you're responsible, and that gives your credit score a nice, healthy boost.
Another number you absolutely have to know is your APR, or annual percentage rate. Basically, this is the price you pay for borrowing money. If you carry a balance from one month to the next, this is the interest rate they're going to charge you. Knowing this number shows you the real and often painful cost of debt.
And hey, while we're talking about costs, don't forget the fine print. You got to know the fees. Is there an annual fee? What about fees for using it overseas? It's all in those terms and conditions. I know, nobody wants to read them, but a few minutes now can save you from some really unpleasant surprises later.
Okay, so we've got the rules, we know the numbers. Now let's talk about day-to-day life with a credit card. We're going to cover the smart habits to build and the common traps you've got to avoid, because those can be really costly. Building good habits is everything, right? So first, check your statements regularly, not just once a month. This is the best way to spot any weird charges or fraud early. Second, make sure your rewards are actually rewarding you. If you travel a lot, get a travel card. If you spend a ton on groceries, get a grocery rewards card. Make it match your life. And of course, protect your information. Don't leave your card info lying around. Simple stuff, but it makes a huge difference.
Now let's talk about a huge pitfall. Cash advances. I mean, just look at that quote. It is not an exaggeration. A cash advance is basically using your credit card at an ATM. The problem is, unlike a regular purchase, they start charging you interest from the very first second, usually at a much higher rate, plus they tack on an extra fee. Just try to avoid it at all costs.
So we've covered the rules, the numbers, and the habits. Now, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. This is where we tie it all together and see why this stuff truly matters.
You see, all these little actions, paying on time, keeping your balance low, avoiding those traps, they aren't just separate chores. They're all connected. They're all working together, feeding into one single powerful number that pretty much defines your financial reputation.
And yep, you guessed it, that number is your credit score. The best way to think about it is like a financial report card. It tells lenders how trustworthy you are with money. Every single tip we've talked about today is really a strategy for building and protecting a great credit score. And that score opens doors to better loans, better mortgages, all of it.
So what's the payoff for all this? What's the bottom line? It's simple. You avoid crushing debt.
You save a ton of money on interest, you get rid of those annoying late fees, and you build a powerful credit score that works for you, not against you.
Which brings us right back to where we started. That credit card in your pocket, it's a tool. It can be used to build a solid financial foundation, or it can be used to dig a deep hole of debt. So after all this, the only real question left is, what are you building with yours?